If you've ever had that suspicion that constantly using your smartphone might be making your memory worse, then you might be right. In particular, taking photos of every moment. Research shows that could be lessening our ability to recall information. And it's being called digital amnesia. So the director of the Toronto Neuroimaging Facility and professor at the University of Toronto, Morgan Moretz, joins us this morning. Hey, welcome to your morning.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, how long, first of all, have researchers noticed this effect on our memory?
Well, there was some recent evidence that came out about 10 years ago that showed kind of paradoxically that taking photos of life events makes memory, can make memory for those life events worse. It's something called the photo-taking impairment effect.
The photo-taking impairment effect. So is that what happens in your brain when someone's constantly taking photos on their phone? Like, what is that?
Well, so what's happening is that when we're outsourcing thinking to our phones, we lose that ability to remember the information ourselves. So we disengage from the moment, we stop paying attention to what's happening, and we think that the phone's gonna remember the information for us, and we don't go back and review that information later. And all of that impairs our memory.
When we're coming to things like accuracy, however, is it maybe better to have the memory on our phone than rely on ourselves? Because it's not always reliable.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if you had to remember, let's say, a phone number, for example, then it might make sense for your phone to remember that information. You might be able to free up some extra thinking power if you're just gonna have to, you know, remember that phone number once or twice. But if you take this to an extreme and you never practice using your memory, you stop using your own memory, that's gonna make your memory worse. It's this old adage that we have in the field, use it or lose it.
Oh, I need to use it more. All right, so what are some of the ways that we can combat the effects of losing memory from overusing our phones and to create those memories for us?
Well, so the most important thing is to pay attention. Our phones provide this constant source of distraction. So they're ripping us out of the moment, robbing our attention. We're constantly switching from one task to the next, and we're never really deeply engaging. When we're on our phones, we're not deeply engaging with what's happening around us. And if we're not paying attention, we're not gonna be able to remember it later.
Can you be diagnosed with digital amnesia? Is it actually a thing?
No, it's not. It's a colloquial term. But I think one that a lot of us can really relate to. You know, I used to be able to remember my best friend's phone number. Now, you know, maybe I could get my husband's phone number in a pinch, but don't ask me.
Well, I have the opposite problem. I can remember commercials from the 80s. I can't seem to remember my password from a week, but that's another interview. Your team created an app to combat the effects of digital amnesia. It's called Hippocamera. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we, as memory scientists, took everything that we know about how memory works, and we wanted to build a smartphone app that supported memory formation rather than competed with it. So rather than mindlessly record photos and videos on our phones that we may never watch again, Hippocamera guides users to record and replay life events with mindfulness and with an explicit intention to remember them.
And can you give me an example of an exercise that you could do?
Absolutely, yeah. So Hippocamera takes users through a short, less than a minute guided process in which users stop, they describe the event, they take a video of the event, and then they say how important the event is to them. And then Hippocamera combines all of those elements into one high quality, distinctive cue that is gonna later be a powerful memory trigger. And then later on, the app prompts users to study those cues using all sorts of techniques that we know improve memory retention.
Memory scientists, that's my next career. Morgan, thanks for being here today. This is fascinating.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.